GrowingVine. Here we have two versions, one that grows on a flat surface and the other that grows without a specific surface. If we open GrowingVine, it contains the collection with leaves. This is the collection, and this one has the nodes. Here are the nodes. Well, if we open the other one, we also have a flat surface. The nodes. And we have the collection of leaves. Okay then. To begin, 4 simple steps are needed. 1. Create a Bezier curve. 2. Add the nodes. Let's go to where the file is. And open this file. Let's go to the Node Trees folder. And we will append GrowingVine. Once we have imported it, let's apply it. And there it is. 3. Adjust the parameters. We will see all these adjustment properties in a detailed tutorial later. 4. Animate the vine. You can animate the growth of the trunk, the growth of the leaves, and other factors that we will also see later in the advanced tutorial. And that's how we have the animation. Let's start with the tutorial to use GrowingVine. To do this, let's create a version that does not need a specific surface. First, let's create a Bezier curve. Now, let's go to Append. Downloads. And let's go to Node Tree. GrowingVine. It has added a collection with the leaves. And we have our Bezier curve. Let's apply a GeometryNodes modifier. And let's put the GrowingVine that we just added. We already have it here. What I'm going to do is create one that is more in line with what I want. So let's delete this. And now I'm going to press 1. Let's draw a curve. Alright. Radius base trunk will be the base radius. The next one is the tip radius. Fill cap. This is to close the base and the tip. Subdivision. Here we can see how the number of mesh subdivisions increases. And by increasing the number of subdivisions, the number of leaves also increases. And here is the number of leaves. Regardless of the subdivision, you can reduce or increase the number of leaves. The overall size of the leaves. Then the size of the tip leaves. If you see, only at the tip is where it changes. Then here we can make variations. Let's see if we like any of them more. This will animate the growth of the trunk. And this, the growth of the leaves from the base to the tip. Rotation of the leaves. This will allow us to rotate the leaves to accommodate them better. Noise factor. This will make the curve have a twist. And this, the size of the twist. Here we also have the collection of leaves. Here we could change it for other objects. What I would do is change its pivot point to be at the base. and then apply the scale. That's important. And I'll put everything in a new collection. Let's call it new. Okay, and then here is my collection. Now I could come here and switch to new. So there you can put any object you want, including your custom leaves. But now what I'm going to do is choose the leaf collection again. Okay, we leave it like this. Now, the material is a predefined material that is already included. So we can see it, let's apply it to the curve. Now, in Outputs, Attributes, we have UV Grow. That is the name that we will have to use if we want to change the material. This is important because this way, it will detect the UVs of the trunk. So you have to put this here. You have to add an attribute node to the material you want to use and connect it to the vector and name it UV Grow. This can be changed. We can name it Other. So you saw that it doesn't detect it here anymore. We would have to change it here. And here too. Well, that would be it. Now let's animate this curve. I'll make it start at frame 1. Insert keyframes. And I want it to unfold until 150. Now, I'm going to decrease the size of the leaves. Let's say like this. And I'm going to make it grow. And there. It's growing. And the leaves are also growing. There will be times when you want to do a close-up shot with the camera. And then what we can see is how these leaves are colliding with each other. So, what we're going to do to fix that can be done with the rotation of the leaves. But we see that it's also colliding here. So we can do this and there. Our leaves are fine. We adjust it to the perspective. Another thing we can do is change the seed of leaves. And that way, we don't have that problem. We can also animate the noise. Let's apply a bit of noise. Let's put this, for example, at 0. We put it here. And let's animate it. For example, until 180. Then here point 2. Here you can even extend it to keep moving, even after the animation has finished. And here, for example, you can animate the size of the leaves. Let it come from here. Let's animate it, and up to here so that it keeps growing a bit. Like this. Let's animate the growth and later it can also be animated. Now let's see the version made for flat surfaces. Again, let's create a Bezier curve. Now let's go to Append. So, let's go to GrowingVine Wall. In Node Trees. And it also has this collection of leaves. And let's apply the geometry nodes. What this one has is that the leaves will only be created on a curve. That is, the rotation of the leaves will lean towards one side. So, we can create a flat surface. Now we select our curve and go to Edit mode. Select all and delete the vertices. Now, using the Draw tool, let's draw. Okay, here you see that it didn't turn out well, because I didn't use the surface option. So again, let's delete this. I'm going to go to Surface. And now yes. And there, I created Flush. And it has the same options as the version that is not for flat surfaces. It's the same options. Only here it will have a selective rotation. Only some of the leaves will be rotating. For the rest, it's the same. Likewise, it can be animated. And this part too. If I want to do it on a flat surface that is on the floor. So here is the Bezier curve. And I applied the geometry node to this curve. And then rotate it -90 degrees. Here. That's one. Then some inconsistencies may arise if we want everything with just one Bezier curve. For example, here we see that this one looks good. But this one doesn't because it maintains this rotation on the axis. So if I want to fix this one, for example, I could move this rotation in Z, and this one will be fine now. But this other one won't. Therefore, what has to be done in these cases is that this be independent. So I can duplicate this. I press Ctrl D. I duplicate it here, and I can rotate this. And put it here. Do that. There. And the same. If I want to put it up here, I duplicate this. And then rotate it -90 degrees. Here. I can put it. And now yes, everything has a correct rotation. Now what happens? If you created the curve and simply deleted the vertices and then started writing here, very nice. And you say, let's apply the GrowingVine nodes to it. And you see that the rotation is wrong. So, what you have to do is have a good view. Press Ctrl+. And in rotation. While holding Ctrl, rotate less 90 degrees or whatever you need. And then again, press Ctrl+. And now, you will have rotated the axis of the Bezier curve. Finally, let's look at the limitations. What if I want to create an animation on a surface with very pronounced angles? Here it is respecting the rotation well on this surface. But at the top, it is not. That's one of the limitations of this version.